Hi guys, my name is Christine and I'm a dating, relationship and personal development coach, and today I'm talking about am I in love and how to tell if you're in love. So I think a lot of the times people get confused at the beginning of a courtship, or when you see someone from across the room who you're really attracted to. A lot of people confuse that with love because I think it's because we see it a lot in the movies, we see it a lot in the Western culture about these kind of like instant like romantic feelings that you can get for someone. And I think because it's been displayed so much in the art, in the film industry, in romantic novels, romantic movie, all those kinds of things, it can confuse a lot of people. They think, oh, is this it? Is that the love that I'm supposed to be feeling? I mean, it feels like it because it happens in the movies. You're getting that Romeo and Juliet kind of feeling. That instant attraction. But that's what it is. It's instant attraction. And those forms of art, like Romeo and Juliet and things like that, and those romantic movies, romantic novels, they are right to a degree, because you can go into a room, into a party, or let's say, and see someone from across the room who you think is absolutely gorgeous. Those moments have happened to me, they happen to a lot of people. So there is an element of truth in the Western culture of romance and art and all that kind of stuff. So there is an element of truth. That feeling does exist when you see someone and you're instantly attracted to them, right? So that does happen. However, it's not love. That's instant attraction, right? Love isn't a feeling, right? It's actually an action, right? Love is something that you do, right? Attraction is a feeling. Attraction is like, chemistry up here and stuff like that. And it's what makes you drawn to someone, right? That's what attraction is. But love, love is something, is a lot more, it's a lot more, it's something that comes with time, basically. It's not something that happens instantly. You can't instantly know someone inside out. You can't know those kinds of things, because you can only love someone unless you know them and you've been hanging around them for a long time. And by I mean hanging around, I mean when you're in a relationship together, you're living together. You know what it's like to wake up to them. You know what it's like to be around them. You know what it's like to go on holiday with them. You know what it's like to hang out with them, with your parents. You know what it's like to hang out with them, with their parents. You know what it's like to hang out with them on a boring day. You know what it's like to hang out with them on a stressful day. You know what it's like to hang out with them on a happy day. You know what it's like to hang out with them on a sad day. Because we all have different moods. Life isn't perfect. People are not perfect. And relationships are definitely not perfect. It's something that you need to work at. And you can't really love someone straight away, right? So that's first what you need to consider. When you're asking yourself, am I in love? You need to consider, okay, well, how much time have I actually spent with this person alone, right? Because there's no way that you can love someone unless you've at least lived with them for a little bit, right? Until you've been just you two alone for some period of time, so you get to know each other better in that kind of environment. You can't love them before that because you don't really know who they are yet, right? So a lot of people, that's what you need to ask yourself. Is this someone I've known for a long time, who I live with? Or is this someone who I just know at work, or I just know at school, or it's just someone who I see in a coffee shop because they're the barista there? That's what you need to ask yourself. Because if it's not, and it's someone who you know at work, someone you know at school, someone who you've seen across a room once, someone who, your favorite barista at Starbucks who you're falling in love with, if it's that, then no, you're not in love. You're just really attracted to them, which is valid because obviously you're looking at them, it'll be great to, you'd love to date them. That's obviously true to you. You are attracted to them. You do want something romantic with them, but you do not love them, right? Because you don't know what it's like. You're in love with the surface, basically, in a way, right? You've got that attraction for them on the surface, but you can't really truly love them until you know them like 100%, right? Because you don't know what it's like to be with them when they're like super, super sad all day. You don't know what it's like when they get home stressed from work because they've had a horrible argument with their boss. You don't know what it's like to deal with them when they've lost a loved one and they're grieving. You don't know what it's like to be with them when they're not well and they're being they might not be as you have to look after them. You don't know that yet, right? And you can only really love someone when you have spent that time together and you've put in the work and you've fully tried to understand them. And love is something that you do. Love is Love is when you want them to have really good things in their life, right? You want them to do that and you support them to do that, right? Love is when you are taking on more work. So let's say more work in your job, you're taking on more hours because they're, for whatever reason, they're not able to work anymore, you know, and you're okay with taking on the extra hours or getting another part-time job to help support them through that time. You know, that's love, right? Love is you know, doing the small things for them, like it could be like laying on their side of the bed before they get in the bed so it's warm when they get in. You know, that's something they can do. That's a love thing, right? Love is also, you know, being there when, and always being there on their bad days, you know, on the days where they're, you know, not really looking that great, where they're spent all day in their sweatpants, you know, and they've got their hair up in a bun, or they haven't showered because they're really sad, you know, and still being there and loving to them, and not just being there for the good times, but being there for the bad times as well, you know, really truly being their shoulder and trying to do that, you know, the best that you can for them. You know, that's when you know you're in love with them. You know, it's kind of like in a way, like the kinds of things that you would do for your family, right? Because eventually, you know, when you get married and stuff, you know, that's what happens. They become a part of your family. But, you know that, you know, if you've got brothers, you've got sisters, or you got your parents, you know, you'll do so much more for them than anybody else, right? Or if you've got kids, you know, you do so much for them. You do everything for them, right? You know, but, you know, you can't really do that until you've, you know, with someone who you're romantic with, until you've got to know them. You know, so you need to, you know, think about, you know, that kind of thing, you know. So if you're in a relationship then, and you've been with each other for a long time, and you've seen and experienced all their different moods and all their different idiosyncrasies, then yeah, you're probably in love with them. But if it's someone who you just met, you're not, right? You can't. It's impossible, right? It's impossible to be absolutely 100% in love with someone and who they are when you don't know who they are. Unless you're a psychic medium and you know them inside and out straight away, which most people can't do, and I don't think it's something that someone can do personally. I don't think you can know someone completely who they are straight away, because I just don't see how that's possible when you haven't lived together. You don't like, do you honestly know what it's like to be with them on their bad days? Probably not. You know, do you know what it's like to see them like blackout drunk? Probably not, right? Well, you might do, but probably not, right? You don't know what it's like to see them when they're angry, when they're completely furious, when they're taking it out on you. You don't know what it's like to see them taking it out on other people when they're angry. Or there could be someone who can control their emotions, but they're taking it out on themselves, and you're trying to say to them, you mean everything to me, stop being so hard on yourself. You know, and they still do it anyway. You know, until you really know who this person is, you can't love them. And there's no way you can know exactly who this person is before you enter a relationship with them, before you've actually lived together and spent a huge amount of time together, right? So if it's just that, you just know them a little bit, you're not in love with them, you just are really attracted to them. But if you're in a relationship and you've spent a long time together, then yes, you probably are in love with them. And that's how you know, right? So if you'd like help with me personally, then please go to www.christineloveridge.com. Thank you so much for watching, and I shall talk to you again very soon. Goodbye, guys.